Welcome back to the second segment of the Loveland Report and Lone Ranger Show. I am Cleve Loveland alongside Bruce Woodburn. We've been talking about mansion prices. We've been talking about interest rates. We're going to talk about delisting in this segment. What is that? And we're going to talk about Bruce's different loans for investors.
Yeah, I want to talk about the differences between conventional financing and alternative financing when it comes to buying investment property or owner-occupied property if you're self-employed.
All right. And then I want to go through, I got a couple listings here real quick I want to go through. Great townhome product. 4 bedrooms, Bruce. Most townhomes are 3. So busy family, growing family, two dinks, dual incomes, no kids.
Dinks.
Works out of the house. They need 2 offices. We got it right here. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths in Sanford, right by the marina. $400,000 for this house, 1,800 square feet, best price in the neighborhood, end unit, and beautiful touches. It's been a rental property. You're in a gated neighborhood, ready to go. End unit's nice because you got extra windows on that. And then I've got Slough Court in Ocoee. This is right on the edge of Windermere, 725,000, 2,700 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 3 full baths, all on 1 floor except for 1 bedroom upstairs. Actually, a bonus room, could be a bedroom or bonus room, could be 6 bedrooms, Bruce. You've got a nursery or a den over on the master side. You've got 3 wings in this house plus the bonus room. The owner did it like an $80,000 kitchen. They are on a curve on the street, so the backyard is the biggest in the neighborhood. Literally, the backyard is 0.4 acres, which is just about unheard of in these newer neighborhoods. It's a gated neighborhood of Brookstone for $725,000. The house is perfect and ready to move into at $725,000. And then I've got one here, bit of a not a fixer-upper, needs some cosmetics, but a great price, $457,000 for 2,000 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath pool home in Hunters Creek. Now, all the other pool homes in Hunters Creek, $495.
And what's this? How much is this?
This is $460, $457. So call me if you want to take a look at this. Literally, I've got the quotes on fixing it up. It needs paint, screens, literally for $15,000, a rento loan, or have the seller pay your closing costs. This house is beautiful. You've got built-in equity there for $457,000.
Hunters Creek is red hot,
and this is like walk to both schools, elementary and middle. Great one there. And then Mount Dora, I've got a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. This is going to go $499,900. I think by this weekend we'll have offers on this. We just adjusted this price about 5 days ago. 2,700 square feet for $500,000. And you've got a 3rd-acre lot. Beautiful home's been all updated at $499,000, and you can ride your bike to downtown Mount Dora. Great location there.
Well, it's interesting that we've talked about the prices of houses settled down a little bit, right?
But appreciation is flattened the last couple months. Yeah.
But when I listen to your listings, and I've been doing this with you for many, 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 many years.
Yep.
And I listen to those listings, and the price of the listings has absolutely gone through the roof. The days of you having $750,000 and $900,000 and $500,000 houses right and left, that was uncommon.
Yeah.
I mean, it was normally between $250,000 and maybe $475,000. You got into $550,000, and that was like, whoa, we're getting up.
2008 fractured the market.
Yes.
Like that, because literally, all your lakefront homes in Central Florida were 500 to $1 million.
Right.
And all your starter homes were 100 to 190, and your move up houses were 190 to 350, 400. But after 2008, I guess lending options also opened it up too.
Sure did.
And then I think it's just really weird because, it used to be $1 million in Orlando was a lakefront mansion on a big chain of lakes. And, let's go to Winter Park. Maybe they're 2 million. And now we are pushing $10 million, $3, $4, $5, $6 million for some of these places, which is great for our real estate in Central Florida.
Buy real estate. There's no such thing as a rich renter.
Yep. So anyway, delisting, I want to talk about that, Bruce. And all this is, every single month, Bruce, but it's kind of funny. I guess Miami, all these luxury homes down there, Miami's kind of turning into a better New York. Lots of people moving there, lots of companies moving there, their mansion prices, the ocean, kind of like California without Crazy Gavin. And it's doing great, but it's funny. Their market has slowed. And so a lot of homes coming off the market, usually every single month out there, Bruce, of however many homes we have listed, about 8 to 10% pull off. They give up,
right,
or they stop. Their listing runs out. If you know somebody having that problem, have them call me. I'll give them the news they need. I'll give them the information they need about what was wrong with the house, why it didn't sell, where they need to be. I want to make sure their plan is right, because if they're going on the market, going off the market, that family's in limbo. That owner's in limbo, not knowing what's going on. Are they trying to do a job move? Are they trying to move to their dream home? Are they trying to downsize? Those golden handcuffs, so we call it. It might not be golden handcuffs, might be real handcuffs. I can help them fix that problem. But I guess Miami had a disproportionate amount, as usual, of people delisting. And it's funny because, what it is there's some people, I see them all the time. Half the homes out there are probably they're on the market and they're in the market, but half the homes are just priced way too high,
Right.
and they're not in the market.
You're not doing yourself any
They're-
favor by
yeah,
doing
they're not. You're not doing that. And some people are like, "Well, this is a make me move price," and it's like pie in the sky. And that worked for a brief period in 2020 and 21, maybe part of 22. Then it was gone.
Yeah.
So the multiple offers are gone for the most part, and you've got to really be priced right. Buyers are smart. They've got so much information.
Buyers are very smart. So
their
and
fingertips.
buyers are smart, but you and I see a lot of investors, including you and I, investing in the market. Why? When we're buying investment property, even if we're putting 20 or 25% down and we're not looking at a positive cash flow from rent, or at least not a big positive cash flow, why do you think so many investors are still interested in buying then
Well,
if there's not a lot of positive cash flow?
They know we're at the bottom of the market. Hard to call exactly when. I think hopefully I'm thinking we can look back 6 months from now, 3 months from now going,
I
that
think
was
it's
it.
going to be between 6 and 9 months.
And already, like, if we had a blah summer, like our
Yep.
summer numbers this year, our
Very
sales numbers
strange.
was like our spring numbers, our winter numbers. They were it was our average sales. I'll pull it up so we can talk about it, but it's been like the same. Usually we have a peak in the summer of 3,800 homes.
Yeah.
4,000 if things are crazy, resale homes selling every month. And it's been 2,500 all summer long.
But we're seeing investors jumping in the market and buying right and left, and they're not getting the positive cash flow, but they know that the appreciation is coming. Give out your number, and I want to talk a little bit about the type of loans that people are getting.
407-352-8118 or cleveloveland.com.
Or the Loan Arranger at 407-250-9144. I am Bruce Woodburn. I'm the Loan Arranger, and I'm here to make sure that you always get the best advice and the best mortgage for you, your family, or your friends. So I'm seeing a lot of folks that want to buy, a lot of self-employed people. They make good money, but they write a lot off. Okay. The first thing they say is, Bruce, I got great credit. I got money in the bank.
And an awesome accountant.
But I got a really creative accountant. I know what that means. I'm okay. There's programs for you, provided you have a little bit of money to put down. And generally, it's going to take between 10 and 20 to 25%, depending on whether you're buying owner occupied or investor. But for self-employed people that don't show the income, I've got a bank statement program. You give me the last 24 or 12 months of your business bank statements. I'm going to add up all the deposits, and I'm going to give you 50% of that as income. 50%. And I can keep your interest rate pretty darn close to what your neighbor got that's W-2 wage earner with an 800 credit score. So there's not a great deal of differences.
Didn't you have a DSCR?
So
that
DSCRs are now for investors. Okay.
Yes.
Bank statement program, you can do owner occupied, second home, or investor. So it's available for all of you. It's just for self-employed people. Now, the DSCR could be for anyone that wants to buy investment property, but maybe does not show the income on their tax returns or does not want to provide the tax returns. So I've got a gentleman right now, very wealthy man. I mean, he's got a lot of property. He's got a $3.5 billion house, just bought a big house in Homosassa, and he wants to renovate the home, and he wants about $800,000 to renovate this home that he just paid $1 million for. So I'm giving him the money, but he owns 4 companies and it's complicated. Now he's got the money, he could pay cash. Okay. He could literally pay cash if he wanted to, but he doesn't want to. So what do? We have a program that accommodates his needs, and his needs are, I don't want to give you all my tax returns. I don't want to give you a P&L and balance sheet. I just want to make it easy, Bruce. What do we need to do? And I have the solution.
Let me guess, you got a product.
I got the product for him. So I'm doing a DSCR. But at the end of the day, the DSCR did not come out to be much different, and maybe an eighth of a point different in a regular, conventional, non-owner occupied cash out refi. So if that is you and you're thinking about purchasing and you're self-employed, don't fret. We got the programs. We can make this happen. So you just call the Loan Arranger. I've got what you need. Purchase, refinance, cash out, rate reduction, you name it, we got it. 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. So that's what I've got on that. And then I want to talk about the first time home buyer, because the first time home buyer right now is at a huge disadvantage. Prices are up. Interest rates are still a little bit higher for them. So Hometown Heroes came out and they will pay up to $35,000 toward your closing costs. You just have to be a first responder, teacher, law enforcement. You could be the janitor at the school.
All right.
You could be
You could be okay.
a correctional officer. There, you could work for the court system. There's all kinds of things you could do to qualify for Hometown Heroes. But you better act on it, because if down payment is your primary issue, then you need to call me immediately, because
you got to reserve that money with a contract.
With a contract.
Because you can't say, hey, hold this money for Bob.
No.
Bob's got to have a contract.
Bob's got to be under contract.
All right. But
first time home buyer, make less than $145 a year and be in some type of an industry that's considered.
Here's the number. I think, median price around Central Florida is $390. I think closing costs and everything, if you get the seller to pay some of your closing costs, you need about 15 to 20 grand. Yep. And you clean your credit up, get with you, get their application into you, work on getting fast tracked. And you can tell them, all right, we're going to fix this on your credit. We're going to get your rate down because your credit's better. Veterans, you just said you closed somebody in the fives.
I just closed somebody in the mid fives.
And so it's, get these things set up. But the main thing is saving that down payment. So if I want to move, I just leased an apartment and I've got 12 months. I need to save $20,000. What is that? That's $1,800 a month, $1,700 a month. And then I got to save. So saving the money is the key, and that will get you into the home, or a gift from relatives, gift from a family member, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And you've got 100% loans. Don't you have a 96.5 and a 3.5?
I've got a 0 down payment FHA loan. I've got USDA, no money down. You don't have to be a veteran. I've got all kinds of programs to help people get in for little or no money down.
All right, great. So anybody having trouble out there getting a house sold, finding a house? I just talked to a buyer.
Managing a house.
In property management, I do that. I was just talking to a buyer and they said they've been looking for a couple of months. I said, well, how many have you actually been out and looked at? Well, I'm just not seeing what I like on the internet. I'm like, yeah, you haven't stepped foot in a house or in a neighborhood. I'm like, that's wrong.
Yes.
You need to get out there and feel it. Say, all right, if I can only afford $350 and I don't like $350, you need to go to your boss and get a raise. You need to pay something off. You need to save more money, but that's the market. But you need to know what 325 looks like. What does 350 look like? If you don't like that and you need to go to 375 or 390 to look for a house, then they got to talk to you and say, Bruce, how do I afford that? Do I need to put more money down, or we need rates to come down? This much?
That comes with me generally in the initial consultation. So once we've got you pre-approved, then you're going out shopping for properties. Don't you want to know what your payment would be if you went from 350 to 400 or 450? Don't you want to know how much cash to close you would need at each of those increments? Don't you want to know what the difference would be if you got the seller to pay closing costs and how much that would reduce your cash to close by? Isn't that the advice that you want from a seasoned professional that does this and buys properties as well? 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144, or webringyouhome.com. Cleve, what's your number?
All right. Loveland Properties. Look up and down your street. Chances are I've helped sell, buy, or manage one of those rooftops you're looking at. 407-352-8118. Bruce, I got a gentleman called me. My mom sold him a house in 1982.
Isn't that cool?
I'm going out to see him to talk about getting that on the market. It's time to move, he said. Anyway, we'll be right back after this break.
Yep. Cleve Loveland again, 407-352-8118. Bruce Woodburn, the Lone Ranger, Cross Country Mortgage, 407-250-9144, or webringyouhome.com. Stay with me. I want to talk a little bit more about investors and different programs that are available and what's going to happen to interest rates later in the month or in September. We'll be right back.